YouTube, it's Chelser the Destroyer, and we're gonna watch another internet historian video. The story of Kony 2012. I'm gonna be honest. I have vague memory of that happening, but I don't remember anything about it. So grab your snackies, grab your bevies. I am still a little under the weather. I do apologize for any coughing, sniffling, etc. Let me know what you're eating or drinking down below. Let's get to watching. Also, Mystical, thank you for the follow. Wow. All right. That was a lot. Really fast. Each of the world is bright with you.
2012 is the story of a man.
Like, right before we start, I'm gonna be honest. You know what I know about 2012? The world was supposed to end, apparently, according to, I think, the Mayan calendar, one of the calendars. That is what I remember. That was my takeaway for 2012.
Jason Russell and his relentless quest to stop Ugandan warlord Joseph Kony.
Okay.
Let's begin where the action started. On March 5th, 2012, a charity called Invisible Children published a high-production video called Kony 2012. It was an awareness campaign seeking to mobilize action to capture or kill Ugandan warlord Joseph Kony.
And the goal of the story was to make Kony famous.
30 minutes long, it really tried to pull at your heartstrings.
At the end of my life, I want to say that the world we've left behind is one that Gavin can be proud of. A place that doesn't allow Joseph Konys and child soldiers.
And little Gavin would have been proud, because it took off like no video on YouTube ever had.
How many videos on YouTube do we have that's literally like, hey, we should all go kill this guy? Like, is that is there a lot of those? Like, hey, there's this warlord and we should go stop that. Do I just not exist on that side of YouTube, I guess?
We wanted 500,000 views in the whole year of 2012. We got 500,000 views in the first 3 hours.
It received 100 million views in the first 6 days. 1.4 million likes. Click that link in the description below. They clicked it so hard the website went down, and their email was so inundated that the service provider assumed it was an attack and temporarily pulled the plug.
Oh, dang.
The Times named it the most viral video ever. It raised the charity over $20 million. People really went fucking bananas for this video and those Ugandan kids. 4 million hashtags. People changed their Facebook profiles, so you knew it was a big deal. A fan-made mobile game. Are you woke about Joseph Kony? Yeah, but are you woke enough to get a tattoo? People were up for pretty much anything to stop Kony, as long as it didn't involve any practical action. One like equals one saved child. But who is Joseph?
If only it worked like that, right? If I like this, it will save some, in a person. That's not how anything works. And I mean, so first of all, here's a fun thing. Likes on Facebook don't actually do much anymore. Algorithmically. You have to do the other interactions for the algorithm to pay attention to it. So that's a thing. And it is a thing of like, okay, if it catches on the algorithm, more people will see it, right? So you have more people willing to maybe interact or maybe donating or whatever. So that's, legitimate. But just liking a video is not going to do anything, especially now that the liking doesn't actually interact with the algorithm. I don't know.
Joseph Kony and what's all the fuss? Well, he's the leader of the Lord's Resistance Army, LRA.
My God, you're greasy.
And he really is one of the most evil people living today. Imagine the worst crime you can think of committing, and he'll have done it thousands of times over.
Takes children, makes them kill their parents and eat their parents.
The surviving girls would be kept as sex slaves, and the boys conscripted into the LRA as child soldiers.
Oh, Jesus.
I know, it's kind of a bummer.
It's all part of a civil conflict.
I'm sorry, that editing was pretty... Sorry. Kind of a bummer. Jesus Christ.
That's been going on for 30 years. We'll get into the details later, but for now, consider this our one-dimensional bad guy.
Okay.
And here's our protagonist, Jason Russell, the figurehead of Kony 2012 and Invisible Children. He's a devout Christian, stereotypically Californian.
I do consider myself a refined valley dude.
But he has a bad boy side too. So it all starts in 2003 when, as a naive and aspiring filmmaker, he goes to Uganda with two friends in search of a story. While driving through a rural village,
A car was shot in front of us by a rebel army who was led by
A bit misleading. It was a car that had taken the same road earlier in the day. Jason Co. weren't there to witness it. All right.
a guy named Joseph Kony.
they drive to a city for safety and find this. Turns out it's part of a nightly routine. Kids live in the villages, but commute to the city to sleep there to avoid being kidnapped in midnight raids by the LRA.
Oh, damn.
Thousands and thousands of kids without an adult in sight.
Jason had found his story. And a cause.
Okay.
It must have made a real impression on him, because for the next 10 years he dedicated himself, almost exclusively, to trying to improve things in Uganda and stop Kony. Kony 2012 was the culmination, but in the preceding years he tried a bunch of other schemes. This.
The Bracelet Campaign.
This.
Twice daily broadcast about where the LRA is and where they're active.
And this.
Do what we always do. Dance.
What?
This is all real.
What is this, High School Musical bullshit? I mean, I guess you're trying to communicate with the youth? Maybe?
We're on a mission, put Uganda deep inside your
Oh my
mind.
God. Fish, thanks for the follow.
Needs attention and a dance to make it sparkle and shine.
Hey, kids. Tell your parents or something, because kids can't really do a lot, but your parents can. Your parents can open their wallets and some... Jesus Christ.
We gotta shake it up and
I
break
just...
it up and let
The little note, like, this is real. Like, this isn't a fever dream. You're not hallucinating. This happened. And I'm like, yeah. Yeah, okay.
the war without a gun.
Naturally, questions have been raised about his sexual orientation.
All these other rumors too that you were gay.
Mm-hmm.
Who cares?
Yeah, I've heard those rumors.
Yeah.
My parents.
Who cares? Like, hey, what was going on? Was it High School Musical? Were you trying to coattail High School Musical? What was that about, actually?
started a large children's theater organization, so I am
Theatrical.
theatrical.
Hold on. He spent his childhood as the Tin Man, Mr. Toad, Peter Pan. He loved musical theater, and his best friend was a girl who he met age 7 and went on to marry. Okay, I mean, who cares? 2012 would have been bullied pretty heavy. I get. I mean, this is like old, right? So it's like, I say old. Whatever. I mean, like, because I'm just kind of like, I have other questions, and it's not like, oh my God, are you gay? My question is like, what inspired this? Was it High School Musical? It feels High School Musical, and did that work for you? I don't know.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Straight men are allowed to enjoy musicals. It's current year. Back to Kony 2012. So
You can. Musicals are great.
video lays out a plan called Cover the Night. Here's what you do. Pay $30 for your super special Kony action kit. Whoa, that's nice. In the kit you'll find 5 items. Button, bracelet, stickers, shirt, and these posters. Then, on April 20th, in the dead of night, go out and vandalize your town with awareness.
And wake up to hundreds of thousands of posters demanding justice on every corner.
It was going to be amazing. Everyone was on board. The
Did
countdown to April 20th had begun. And all Jason and co had to do was keep the momentum going and not fuck it up.
Fucked it up? Literally in the
way to move the world to action.
But this movie is not without critics.
Critics say the film manipulates the facts.
Simplifying the story.
Oversimplifying a wildly complex issue. The message is too late. Joseph Kony and his forces have been significantly reduced.
Pro-war activism.
Utterly naive to
By next week, this will be a passing fad.
These white Westerners sort of getting on a bandwagon, and actually they haven't got a clue what they're talking about.
Uh-oh.
A day or two later,
the entire media agenda is against you.
the heady excitement gave way to more down-to-earth analysis. Media commentators started making scathing critiques of the video, and testimony from Uganda wasn't entirely positive either.
It's unfortunate that we can have people who are merchandising, but using people's problems.
Then it got really serious. Teenage girls started weighing in.
Kony, so I asked my mom, and my mom laughs and goes, he died like 5 years ago.
This is wrong, by the way, but it was seen by 4 million people. From a source of my mum said it, so it must be true.
67, my mom, LOL.
The term slacktivism started cropping up more and more. Legitimate questions were asked. How will the money donated be spent?
That invisible children would send would have to go to the Ugandan military.
Why did you put your son in the film?
You know, why would you put your son in the film? You know, why did you put yourself in the film? It was questions about our sincerity.
Why are they saying Kony is in Uganda when he's actually in the Central African Republic? Invisible Children wasn't popular.
Do you not know where you went? You go to Uganda and then travel out of Uganda and not realize you weren't in Uganda anymore? What's happening here, my guy? Uh-oh.
Among other charities either. They were hogging the limelight. And they released Kony 2012 just 2 days before International Women's Day, a critical fundraising time for some. Even the Ugandan Prime Minister took a few jabs.
We do not need a sleek video on YouTube for us to take notice.
Maybe you do.
Once people started feeling misled, they turned against the organization and squared the blame on one person. The pressure was building. Online backlash and
Former child soldier says the video offers a feel-good solution that does nothing on the ground. Raise of slacktivist interest in light of Kony 2012. Students need to understand the something. If you post about Kony, I feel bad for you, son. He snatched 99 kids and your status saved none. Damn.
a hectic schedule was starting to take a toll.
My phone was getting 10 text messages every second. It was just...
Millions of supporters on one side.
Applaud the work of Invisible for Kony 2012. Tells the story before Kony 20. Okay.
Millions of critics.
I wrote down every Kony 2012 poster that I see downtown. Bunch of bullshit. Young people helped Kony 2012 success, but now they're breaking from its message. Our ideas are wrong. No amount of on-the-ground experience will make them right. If you see a poster on your daily path, tear it down, rip it up, throw it away. Phony 2012 liars. Dang. Phantom, thanks for the follow.
On the other.
on and on.
Make Kony famous? Well, it made Jason famous too. And the pressure kept increasing. He was flying all over the country to spread his message.
Took the red eye to New York, landed at 5 in the morning.
Working around the clock.
On the Today Show, People Magazine, Reuters. By day 3, I was in LA doing interview after interview after interview. 17 interviews in 48 hours.
Wow. Damn.
He was sleeping less and becoming more erratic.
Not being able to sleep, not being able to stop my racing mind.
Criticism from every direction.
Then it was like, you're the worst. you're terrible, and Kony's dead.
They started saying the whole project was for his ego, or based on greed, and not just criticism, responsibility. How are you going to stop children from being murdered, Jason?
That is something you have to think about, because like, even if you try to be like, hey, I want to spotlight that there's an issue here or whatever, if you don't, you have to tread very carefully, because this could very much blow up in your face and ruin your life. That is something that you have to be mindful of, I guess. Activision can be very, I'm not talking about the video game company. Being an activist can be very damaging. It's something that you have to really, really think about and tread carefully about, and like put a lot of thought into. You can't just start saying things and making claims and stuff. You have to do a lot of research and figure it out, and like kind of plan things and get other people probably involved. I'm not saying don't, if there's like something that you feel needs to be highlighted or help, or people need to be helped or something. I'm not saying don't do that. Just saying you have to put a lot of thought into it.
You promised a solution, Jason. When are you going to deliver, Kony?
At the end of that day, my mind was exhausted.
To release the pressure, he and his family tried to take a couple of days off by going to Palm Springs. But people recognized him there too, so they hid away in their hotel room with the curtains closed. Jason was starting to crack. Paranoia, delusions of grandeur. He went with his family to see the Lorax, and he thought that
I haven't slept. My mind was racing. I tried to relax and calm down. They said take 2 days off, so his family went to Palm Springs, but we went to the pool, and the people recognized us and wanted to take photographs. So we went and shut ourselves in the hotel room, closed all the windows and the doors, and just felt like we were under attack. Next day was a bit better. We went to see the movie The Lorax, Dr. Seuss film, and I thought it was talking directly to me. I thought it was all about me. The character is wearing a stripy top like the one his son Gavin is wearing in the film, and I was like, that's so weird. And the character is trying to protect those trees, and I thought it was me, and the trees were Rwandans. Are you having a psychosis episode based on the fact that you're unable to sleep? Like, buddy. Oh dear.
the film was speaking to him directly. Voices in Jason's head told him that he needed to get to New York in the next 12 hours or Kony would win, whatever that meant.
No.
Then,
He is literally having a psychosis episode. Oh no.
He stripped off all of his clothes and ran out into the street.
I was on a street in San Diego, totally naked and crazy out of my mind. Someone driving by in a car took a video on their phone, and they sold it to TMZ for $30,000.
He was indeed having a psychosis episode. All right.
And then my naked and crazy mess went viral as well.
Some have said that he was jacking it, and that
he was jacking. This is like when the Kony dude went out and started masturbating in public. Oh my God. I'll be masturbating in the streets of San Diego the day they finally stopped Kony. Believe that. Remember when the guy that made Kony 2012 got caught masturbating on a bus, so we forgot all about the dangerous African warlord?
He was on drugs. Neither is true.
No drugs, no self-love. Okay.
It's just a very distressed man having a mental episode.
Were you also masturbating? Did I hear that too?
No one who was there ever said that that was happening.
Yeah.
I'm naked.
Okay, so he just said, like, no one who was there ever said that was happening. I don't think this dude remembers that, which, again, if he's having a psychotic break, he's having a psychosis episode, that kind of tracks. He probably doesn't remember it. Like, oh, buddy, it's kind of sad. Like, this dude was under so much pressure. His brain broke. His mental whatever shattered. That's horrific.
So it's not a far extension of, imagination.
He was taken to the hospital, not jail.
Police say when they showed up, they didn't see any of that and was taken to a local medical facility that he was not arrested, though.
And there, he thought,
I was taken to a hospital, but I thought the staff wanted to kill me because you're in a psychosis episode. I was convinced they kept trying to give me drugs and I refused to take them. It got to the point where I was running around in my underwear, kicking in doors. I had 8 people holding me down. They eventually tied my arms and legs down to this bed and injected me. It was incredibly traumatizing. I was convinced I was going to die. So yes, that would be very traumatizing. But you're also traumatizing other people around you, and you are a danger to yourself and others at this point because you're having a psychosis episode and they have to tranquilize you at some point. Like they have to get you under control. Benji, thank you for the follow. So like at this point it is like 100% like we need to tranquilize this dude. He is going to hurt himself. He might hurt others. Like he is in full psychosis. Like we got to get him under control. So yeah, that would be traumatizing to kind of everybody. I'm gonna be honest.
The staff were trying to kill him.
Just one of those things where I'm like, I don't believe what you're saying. You're trying to kill me.
He ran around in his underwear, kicking in doors until eventually he was subdued and sedated.
Did you come back to yourself as you know yourself?
2 weeks.
2 weeks?
Dang.
2 weeks, whoa.
Yeah.
Later on, one Sharona...
Jason Russell, the co-founder of Kony 2012 campaign, who had that naked meltdown in public, is being sued by a woman who claims she was emotionally traumatized by seeing his junk. Don't. In her lawsuit, she says Russell charged at her naked and threatened to fuck her face. Okay, well, during his naked romp on the streets of San Diego, Reed claims Jason was on the verge of touching her in a harmful and or offensive manner. After the incident, Russell was placed on a psychiatric hold and said he went into treatment for 6 months. His family said he was diagnosed with brief reactive psychosis brought on by stress and dehydration. Reed is not suing for a specific amount of money. An attorney for Russell tells TMZ this lawsuit has no merit whatsoever.
Reed tried to sue Mr. Russell for the trauma of having to see him do naked calisthenics. As far as I can tell, though, that lawsuit went nowhere.
Can you think of anything else that's worse than running around naked going like this on TMZ?
Well, maybe one thing. While all of this was happening, the countdown to the day of action was still ticking. Thousands of kits had been sold. Get ready for an awareness campaign so effective you'll think you're living in Uganda. The kids rolled out into the street. Selfie sticks and posters ready. Let's do it. Let's save those kids. We're changing the world.
Are we? Dude just straight up had a psychosis episode and is locked up in a mental ward. Which, honestly, I hope he got the help he needed and the rest he needed, because I think he was too plugged in and he got pushed into a corner that his mind could not take. And that is why this happened. But, like, when your flag bearer, to say, I guess, your leader is having that happen to them, it's kind of hard to continue whatever it is going on.
Oh, God, yes. But it wasn't all well intended. Some took it as a chance to vandalize their neighborhood with impunity. The adults were left to clean up the mess. And despite the impression you might get from this fancy montage, the turnout was abysmal.
Yeah,
here are some
no
figures.
shit.
Toronto, 50,000 people registered. Real attendance? 50. Sydney, 18,000 people registered. Real attendance? 12. Montreal, 4,800 registered. Real attendance? 0. Instead, they cancelled their event and put up a post calling Invisible Children a fraud organization.
Yeah.
This is what...
I mean, that is especially going to happen when you see the person that is the face of it screaming around, like naked around the streets of San Diego or wherever, and it's like, okay, he's been hospitalized. Like, you're like, okay, dude is off it, okay? And maybe he's not all there, and I'm not going to follow somebody who is not all there, you know? Like, that's not surprising, unfortunately.
4 million Kony hashtags gets you. Now, I bet you want to know where Invisible Children, Jason Russell, and Kony are now. But before I tell you that, I want to go on 2 quick tangents of things I found while researching.
Yeah.
In the Kony 2012 video, you'll see this guy,
At the
Louis
world
Marino
if we fall.
Ocampo,
Fail.
Chief Prosecutor for the International Criminal Court. This would be the organization that charges Kony if he was ever caught. Well, in 2017, a bunch of Louis' emails were leaked, and they detailed one hell of a caper to catch Kony and bring him to justice. I'm not making any of the following up, right? Here's the plan. Lure Kony out of the jungle with Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie as bait.
Is there a record of Kony just being really, really, really into Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt or something? What do you mean? How does that make any fucking sense? I am the biggest Angelina Jolie fan, and I will go anywhere to meet her, I guess. What? I'm gonna be 100%. Maybe this is me being just out of touch with reality. I don't know. You could be like, hey, do you want to meet this famous person? And my answer is probably gonna be like, that's okay. I don't actually want to meet them because I don't care about meeting famous people. That's me personally. Like, I don't know. Like, for the most part, I don't have feelings about that. To me, they're just kind of people, and I have weird social anxiety. So, like, I don't want to go. I'm not going to go out of my way to meet a famous person. I'll go slightly out of my way to go see a band I like, but I don't also want to then meet the band. Like, I want to go enjoy the performance they're going to put on and enjoy their music and enjoy their live and enjoy the energy of the space and the vibes. And then I'm going to go home. Like, if they're like, hey, do you want these special tickets to go meet the band? I'm going to be honest, I kind of don't. Like, no offense. I just kind of don't. Like, I came here for what I came here for, which is the vibes and the experience. And I had that experience. And now I'm going to go home or go get food or something. I don't really need to meet the people behind it. Like, that's just me. I feel like I'm like a weird person in that aspect. I've never really been big about meeting famous people or whatever. So maybe I just can't relate. And that's the issue. I don't know. This seems crazy to me.
Straight from a Hollywood movie, Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt attempting to arrest an African warlord.
So it would go, the A-list couple would fly to the edge of the jungle where Kony is hiding and call him up with an invitation to dinner. Kony, starstruck, would of course say yes. He'd show up, presumably bottle of wine in hand and ready to mingle. Then, imagine his shock. It was a trap all along. Special forces would pop out from behind the salad bar and get their guy.
One idea appears to have been for Angelina Jolie to lure him to a private dinner where he would be arrested.
It was a foolproof plan.
That dude's face for a minute. Like, I just had to say those words on television. Like, what? What?
But unfortunately, it was never realized. Once Miss Jolie stopped responding to Louis' weird emails, Ocampo approached George Clooney for use of his spy satellite.
The chief prosecutor had also attempted to recruit George.
Hold on. George Clooney just has a spy satellite? Is that real? What? Why the fuck does he have that? Like, what?
Clooney in a plot to fly spy satellites over Libya.
Yes, that's correct. George Clooney partnered with a satellite company to spy on al-Bashir of Sudan. Okie doke.
Oh, what? Hollywood lore be crazy. You right. What? Hey, FBI agent watching all my shit. Could you just... How prevalent is... How normalized is this? Like... If I had money, wouldn't I buy a satellite? Spy satellite? No. Why would I do that? Why would I buy a spy satellite? Imagine just having spy satellites like it was just a thing to do. Listen, because you'd run out of other things to buy. I don't necessarily think I fucking would. And you could put your money in other fucking places that's not a spy satellite. You could give to charities that you believe in. You can, it's you can hire a lot of people to do. You could build a house. You could buy some land, build a house. Hire people to work for you to keep your house up. Buy things for people. And invest in people. There's so much other things I could spend money on that's not a fucking spy satellite. I don't think a spy satellite would ever come across. That would not be, listen, I got stupid amounts of money, okay? I got Jeff Bezos money or some shit, right? I don't think, personally, a spy satellite is ever going to come across my mind. I just don't think it is. I'm going to be 100% with you. I just don't think that that's where a thought I would ever have. I could just independently own a spy satellite. That's crazy to me. I don't. That's why I'm confusion. What do you mean? I just... My stupid ass, might be like, hey, I'm going to invest in a property in fucking Orlando or something so my friends and family can go to Disney World whenever the fuck they want or some shit. I don't know. I got stupid money and I need to spend it. What fucking... First of all, it's my opinion that it is the responsibility of rich people to spend their money and put it back into the economy. That's me personally, whatever. I am so flabbergasted I don't understand. What do you mean he's got a private fucking satellite? A spy satellite? What? Oh my God.
Anyway, he responded that the satellite wasn't powerful.
It's not magic. How do you expect to find him in a massive jungle? Are you dumb? Oh my God.
Well enough. So then Ocampo moved on to his backup date, Sean Penn, whom he invited to the UN security meeting in South Sudan. What?
What?
And there were some people having fun with Kony 2012 as well.
Oh.
Turns out Kony looks a lot like Carl Weathers in the movie Predator. So an idea was...
Post this picture on Facebook and say how fucking awesome he is. Wait for people to get maximum butthurt. Let them know it's Dylan from Predator. Profit. Kony for President 2012. Sorry, when I look at the picture, all I see is Apollo Creed. Consider it done. But all 4chan.
Formed. Take this screenshot from Predator, post it on Facebook, and say how great he is without mentioning the name. Then wait for some slacktivists to immediately assume it's Joseph Kony. Then you call them racist. It was good for a few minutes of fun. Then they tried it on the official meetup pages. Promptly deleted. And we're back.
Imagine.
So get a load of this total car crash, dumpster fire, shitstorm, diaper hurricane, am I right, guys? Well, no. Despite all the mishaps and poor turnout, Kony 2012 was a massive success. The goal was to...
It did bring people awareness, I guess.
Make an obscure warlord in rural Uganda a household name. And they succeeded. a reach in the hundreds of millions on a budget of about $1.5 million. Any marketing agency would kill for that. In fact, 7 years later, you probably clicked on this video because you have some vague notion of Kony and that video already. Now, let me give you a very brief rundown on where everyone is.
I'm watching this 13 years.
Then let's get out of here. Invisible Children, outside of long-term and small-scale projects, they've largely ceased operations. Joseph Kony, he's still out there, but his army is shrinking and splintering. He is effectively in hibernation.
Oh.
And Jason Russell. He's no longer with Invisible Children. He's also been breakdown free since 2012.
Good for him.
But he's still doing the activism thing. Look, I've had to gloss over so many details in this video, and there are so many more questions to be answered, but I don't want this video to be an hour long or to take 2 months more to make, so I'm going to round this one off with a Q&A on the second channel. What about that $20 million they raised? Why didn't the US military or the Ugandan military ever just bomb the shit out of Kony? What?
Because the US military, like, okay, you can't just bomb places. You can't just do whatever the hell you want. Even the US military cannot do just whatever the hell it wants as much as you think it probably does. Like, we get away with a lot of shit. I'm not going to say that, but like I'm not going to not say that, but like things, the US military, the hell I can't. Listen. Other countries get upset when you do shit, and then there's, like, politics involved, all right? Like, we've definitely done some things, I'm not gonna say that, but, like, one random dude making a campaign about something that's going on in Uganda is not gonna make the military be like, you know what, we should bomb the shit out of them. Like, the military's doing other shit, all right? The military is like, yeah, that's happening, whatever, terrible things are happening everywhere. We're doing terrible things over here or whatever the fuck. Like, they don't even know where Kony is, really. I mean, the US military could probably find him. Maybe, I don't know. But, like, they're like, he's in Uganda. And they're like, no, the fuck he's not. What do you mean? And so, like, you can't just... like, what? You can't just, like... Why isn't the U.S. military just carpet bombing this area? Like, Agent G, thanks for the gifted sub. Jesus Christ. It just, like, God, there's politics involved, okay? Like, we try not to just straight up piss off allies and stuff and create random enemies. I don't know how true that is, actually. But we do try not to piss off our allies. Osama took 10 years to find and kill, and he was the most hunted man on the planet at the time. I just... Alright, anyway.
What did Kony have to say about the video? All of these questions, and a ton more, plus any questions you may have of your own. Uganda want to see it.
Oh, shut up. Okay. Jesus Christ.
Remember Ugandan Knuckles?
Here's the reference. Hope you're happy. There you go. Did you guys get Ugandan Knuckles? Jesus Christ.